Hi folks, you are very welcome to this course Automation System or Building Management System. Till now we have already learned what is the BMS, what is the use of this system, and we have also learned about a typical BMS system, what are the inputs and outputs and how the system is connected all the way from field devices to the workstation. We are moving slowly, connecting all the dots together so that at the end of this course we could become able to design a system and we could have a better idea of the system. So let's start this video. In this video we are going to learn about the BMS riser. What is a BMS riser? So BMS riser is nothing but the chain of connection of all the BMS system, all the equipments, all the devices, right from the field to the workstation. How the systems are going to connect, where we place the particular systems, and what is the communication we are going to use. So let us start this video. Suppose in our facility we have air handling units. Okay, we may have air handling units. So we can have not only one or two or three, we can have many air handling units in our system. Suppose we have a big facility. So these are AHUs, right? These are AHUs. We can have VAVs in our facility. So we can have many VAVs. These all are VAVs. We can have circuit breakers, electrical system to make the circuit breaker off and on. So we can have many circuit breakers. We can have water system. I am only making here blocks. In the next slide I will make understand. I will in the next slide we will show you the practical things. Okay, so these are circuit breakers. These are maybe chill water system or chillers, chilled water systems, or water system or plumbing system, you can call them. So these are mechanical electrical systems in our facility. Now we want to monitor all the data from these systems and control, right? Sitting in our office, in our control room here. Suppose this is a workstation, a big workstation, and I'm sitting here. Okay, and I want to monitor all this data. So how the communication is going to occur and what are the things between our workstation and the equipments inside the field? What is the chain of connection of these things? This is called BMS riser. So let us understand it step by step. In AHUs we have chill water valve. So we need to have a chill water valve actuator to actuate the valve. Suppose we want to control the valve. So we need to have controller of that valve, right? So we need actuator. Suppose we want to measure the temperature of the air inside the AHU. So there is temperature sensor, there is humidity sensors, there is CO2 sensor, there is duct static pressure sensors, there is filter sensors, okay, DPS. So there can be many kinds of sensors and actuators installed inside these equipments, right? Same goes with the VAVs. There can be many kinds of sensors and actuators installed inside these VAVs. There can be many kinds of relays which are going to control these circuit breakers. These are circuit breakers. There can many kind of pressure transmitters and sensors installed inside these chilled water systems. Now, how these sensors and actuators are going to control these devices? These are connected with a controller. Suppose for one AHU we have one controller, for second AHU we have second controller, for third AHU, and like that. For we can have one AHU. We can have 3 AHUs, 4 AHUs controlled by one controller, or we can have separate controllers. These are called DDC, and these are installed inside a DDC panel. Now, the sensors and actuators which are installed inside these equipments are hardwired through these DDCs, through a connection of wire, hardwired. Okay, they are hardwired, and there can be bunch of wires which are connected. These sensors are connected to these DDCs, right? So in the same way, we can have controllers over VAVs. We can have controllers for VAVs. Many controllers we have. And in the same way, the sensors and actuators from the VAVs are all connected with hardwired through these controllers. These are controllers. These are controllers. I will write here. These are controllers. These are DDC controllers. These are VAV controllers. Circuit breakers also we have controllers to control the circuit breakers. For chill water systems, we have controllers, separate controllers. It is not necessary to have separate controllers for all the systems. Maybe from this DDC we can also control this chill water system. But in this, we are taking separate controllers for all the systems. Right? These are controllers. These are controllers. Now, these are also hardwired. There can be many bunch of wires. I am only drawing one wire, but there can be many wires. One sensors can have 2 or 3 wires, and there can be many sensors. So there is a bunch of wires which is connected from this controller to these devices and these equipments. Now, to have coordination with all these devices, to have we want a coordination with all the HUs together. Okay, so we will have to connect these controllers together. So they are going to connect, but how they are going to connect and how they are going to communicate with each other. This is not like we have to just pull a wire from here to here and it will communicate. No, there is a communication protocol, or which you can call, there is a language through which they talk, and there is a topology through which they are connected. The language is called communication protocol, and topology which is called connection protocol. So there are many languages like Modbus, like BACnet, MS over TP, CBus, Profibus, and etc. So these are called communication protocols. They vary on the manufacturer, which type of manufacturer. Like Honeywell, so they use BACnet, they use Modbus. Like Johnson Controls, Schneider, they use other communication protocols, right? So the most common protocol is BACnet, and the most easy protocol, Building Automation Control BAC, and network, Building Automation Control Network, master slave over token passing. This is a name of the communication protocol. This is a language through which they talk with each other. Now we need to connect all the DDCs together, right? We need to loop them so that they can have a transfer of data among them and they can work in coordination, right? So these are the communication protocols which are going to be used. Now we want to use this BACnet over MSTP. So this BACnet over MSTP use RS485 port. It is called 3-wire daisy chain. I will show in the next slide all the wires and all the connection. 3-wire daisy chain connection. Okay, this is a communication protocol, and it used this topology, right? Topology is how they are going to be connected, and protocol is how they are going to talk. You understand the difference between the protocol and topology. Okay, so in this, suppose these DDCs are going to be connected with BACnet over MS over TP, right? So they have, in these controllers, they have 3 ports. One port with a 3 connection, because we are going to use this port, 3 wire, right? So this is called RS485 port. Here, even here, 3-wire connection. This is called RS485 port. This is called RS485 port. You can have a controller and you can look into that controller. This is called RS485 port. Now, how these things are going to connect? There are 3 wires which are going, one is plus and one is minus and one is earthing, that is 0. So from plus to plus, from minus to minus, and from earthing to earthing. Again from here, from plus to plus, from minus to minus, and from this to this. In this manner they are going to be connected. In this manner they are going to be connected. Right. Now I am going to draw a single line so that you can understand in, out, in, out, in, out. So in this manner they are going to be connected. Right. This is BACnet MS over TP connection with the RS485 port. Now, suppose these devices are going to use BACnet MS over TP, but suppose these devices are going to use Modbus. They are going to use Modbus. So in Modbus also, these are RS485, this topology, and from here, these three wires are going in and out, in and out, in and out, plus and minus and 0. And this chilled water system, suppose it is also using this Modbus connection. So from here, in and out, 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 and in and out. So suppose here it is using BACnet. I will write here BACnet, BNet, MS over TP. Suppose they are using Modbus. Suppose it is using BACnet. It is not necessary that they use BACnet and they use Modbus and they use BACnet, but all the electrical system like VFDs, this is better to use Modbus system here. And in mechanical system like SUs and VAVs and chilled water systems, this is better. It is better to use BACnet MS over TP protocol, master slave token passing. Now we have come from field equipments, from the sensor to the DDC. Connection of DDC is now complete. Now our goal is to communicate these devices to a workstation. Still, if we want to communicate, we cannot directly connect a wire to our system. Why? Because our system is connected. Suppose we have two servers here, right? Two servers, and they are looped together. And these servers are connected through a wall socket with RJ45. So with RJ45 port through a Cat5 cable. This cable is Cat5 cable, right? Twisted pair Cat5 cable. So here we are using TCP/IP, TCP over IP. Sorry, TCP/IP or Ethernet connection, right? And these languages are different. Suppose these are Chinese languages. This is a Chinese language and this is the English language. How can an Englishman talk to a Chinese man if he doesn't know Chinese? So this is the concept of communication protocol. This is another kind of communication protocol, and this BACnet or Modbus or Profibus or CBus are another kind of communication protocol. So if we just draw a wire, so if we just stretch a wire from here and to here, it will not communicate. So we must have a translator in between these things. So in that scenario, we have a router to translate these protocols to the TCP over IP protocol. So these routers, we have here three ports. So one port, that is MS over TP, and it will convert to the RJ45. So it can have two kinds of ports, one MS over TP and one and the other is RJ45 port. Here these all controllers are looped together. From here it goes to this port of the router. Same, these wires. Okay, these are looped together, end of line resistor. From here it goes to the router, this port, MS over TP port. Now it will convert these datas compatible with the TCP over IP, and it is now this data will go from RJ45 port, and from this router there is a switch. Suppose here is a switch. So every floor can have a separate switch, and every floor can have separate routers. So these routers are connected through RJ45 to these switches. They also have RJ45 port here, and they are connected with the fiber optic cable or Cat7 or Cat6 cable, right? This is one scenario, and from that switch it is connected. Suppose this is a wall of this room, and we have workstation here. So we have ports here, ports of the wall, right? Ports of the socket, wall sockets, that are RJ45 socket. From this switch it goes to patch panel. Okay, from patch panel to every wall socket, from patch panel to every wall socket, it goes like this. This is one scenario. Now suppose we have another kind of protocol, Modbus or BACnet MS over TP protocol. Now we want to communicate these protocols to TCP over IP. We cannot communicate directly with the router. We cannot communicate with this kind of connection. To communicate this protocol, Modbus and Modbus or CBus or Profibus, we have a gateway. We have a gateway. So these are connected to the gateway, same as 3-wire connection here on this port of this gateway, and it will convert to RJ45. It has two ports, one MS over TP and one RJ45. Now from that RJ45 we can go to the router, we can go to the switch, or we can go to the direct to the switch, another switch, or same switch to the switch, right? Through patch cables, through patch panels. These are PP patch panels, and through that patch panels this cable goes here. These are all fiber optic cable or Cat6 or Cat7 cable. You just have understanding of these cables. These cables which are connected from these equipments to the from the sensors to the controllers are hardwired cables, right? It is already inside the sensors. These are hardwired cables. Now from DDC to DDC, it is 3-wire cable, DC chain, 3-wire cables, right? They can have other specification of the cable, like 16 AWG, and for this 24 AWG American wire gauge. And now from here, from controller to router or switch, from controller to gateway and switch, from patch panel to these wall sockets, we have Cat5, Cat6, Cat7 cable or fiber optic cable, right? From here patch panel to all the sockets. And now the data goes from all the sockets, from the sockets to the server through RJ45 pit, and from server to workstation. We can have the real-time data of all these equipments, like pressure, like sensors. Like we want to command this actuator of the chilled water system or HU. If you want to command, we can command from workstation. With a click, the data travels through all the traffic and goes to make the, goes to command the actuator. Actuator will open and we'll have chilled water. We'll have more cold air in the area. We want to, suppose we want to open the damper of VAVs full. We want more air, or we want to close the VAV damper. So just we will command here from the workstation, and the damper will open. And the data, the command will travel all the traffic all the way from here to here, and the damper will be open. So this is how the communication is going to occur. Now one confusion I want to make clear here: why in case of BACnet MS over TP we only use router, we don't use gateways? Because if you use a BACnet MS over TP, suppose in this facility all the system, this BMS system is from Honeywell. So in the TCP IP cloud, in the core switch, one layer is embedded here, BACnet over IP, Building Automation Control Network over Internet Protocol. One layer is already embedded. So here BACnet MS over TP, here BACnet IP. So we don't use gateway. From BACnet MSTP to IP, we only use routers. From these routers, we can go to switch and patch panel and to the wall socket. But In this case, Modbus or Profibus or CBus and other protocols, we use gateways because they are different protocols, right? Here TCP over IP. Here we don't have here Modbus over IP. So to transfer from a protocol to a different kind of protocol, we need to have a gateway. Suppose there are two persons. One is speaking US English and the other person is speaking British English. But at the end, they both are speaking English. So this is BACnet over IP. This is BACnet MS over TP. So we need a translator, but not a different language of translator. So this router is only is a translator of a similar kind of protocols, right? And here gateway. Suppose a person is speaking Chinese and a person is speaking French. These languages are 180 degree against, so these languages are 180 degree reverse. So we need a gateway to transfer this language to this language. So here is the basic difference between the gateway and the router. Now let us understand one thing here. These devices, HUs, VAVs, circuit breakers, chilled water system, and we have here sensors, right? So sensors from these devices to DDC controller. This layer is called field level. This layer is called field level. Okay, because these devices are inside the field, inside the systems, inside the equipments, right, in the field. From here, from DDC to these all connections, is called automation level. This is automation level. These DDCs, these controllers, okay, this level is called automation level, and from this automation level to this workstation, this is called management level. With the help of some pictures, we will understand the real things, what is happening there. So let us start. Suppose in the field we have air handling units. So this is an example of air handling unit. What this air comes from this here, from outside, with the help of this damper, outside damper, and with the filters, with the chilled water coil, it passes through these systems. This is a fan motor, this is fan, and this fan drives the air to the area. Again, from the area it returns, after being used, it returns through these duct, and there is a exhaust fan which exhausts the air outside the facility. So you can see here in this HUs we can have different kind of sensors. Suppose I will tell you here, this is a fan motor, this is temperature humidity sensors, this is duct, maybe this is duct static pressure supply air sensor, this is outside air duct, this is outside air damper, this is also a damper, this is motor, and this is return air temperature sensors, humidity sensor, CO2 sensors, this is chilled water coil, this is hot water coil, and this is temperature before the temperature sensor, which is going to sense the temperature before the chilled water hot water coil, and this is chilled water valve, this is hot water valve to limit and to control the amount of water inside this chilled inside this coil. Suppose we need hot water, we will open hot water coil. Suppose we need chilled water inside this duct to make the air more chilled, more cold, we need to open this chilled water coil. So these are the sensors and actuator installed inside the HU. Now this is an example of VAV. Same goes here. All the actuators and sensors we can have here. This is example of FCU, and this is the third one example of VAV. This is a fan coil unit, right? Same as HU, but this is small. Suppose this is a water system. Water, let me explain here something. Water comes from here, from this pipe, and goes filter. After being filtered, it is going to be used in the area by the people of this facility, and after it water goes outside, right? So here we have a pressure transmitter. We want to measure pressure of water here, how much water is coming here. So there is a pressure transmitter, this is a pressure gauge. So these are the field devices like pressure transmitter, pressure gauge. These are valve actuators to open the valve. Suppose in the area people are not using the water and the pump is going to pump the water inside this pipe. Amounts of water increases here, and maybe the pipe will be broken. So here we have a pressure transmitter. This pressure transmitter will inform you that the pressure is increasing in this line. Okay, so according to that it will inform the controller, and the controller, maybe the controller is going to order the VFD, command the VFD, and VFD will control the speed of motor, or it will stop the motor. So it will be a sophisticated system. So here is a water system, right? Now these are sensors. This is a DPS which is going to be used here. This is a temperature pressure sensors. This is a water actuator, a valve actuator, and this is a damper actuator. These are all sensors. This is airflow sensor, and this is also a kind of this is Honeywell valve actuator. This is also a sensor, pressure transmitter. This is also a kind of three-way valve actuator, and this is a pressure and humidity sensors together. So in this slide, these are the systems on the field level, right? This is HU, this is FCU, this is VAV, this is water system, and to control and actuate all these systems we have these kind of sensors, right? Now you can see here one thing, these all sensors are wires. They are wires, they are wires, they are wires, they are wires, they are wires. These also have wires, right? Open and NO and NC contact, from there we have wires. These wires are connected. Suppose this is actuator, valve actuator. So to open this valve or to open this valve, we need to connect this from here, these wires from here to here, these wires from here to. So this is called hardwired. In the previous slide I had told you about the hardwired system. So these sensors are going to connect with this with these devices. So they are connected through hardwire, right? Now same case goes with all types of sensor. These sensors are connected. These are hardwired to all these systems. Now what happens after this? After this level, field level, these systems are controlled with a controller. So we will go to the controller. These are controlled by these kinds of controllers. So this is a control panel, this is DDC, this is a controller. These are not controller, these are input output expansions. Only this is controller. So you can see these two wires or three wires. This is MSTP port, and there can be many DDCs, not only one DDCs, and all DDCs are connected through some wire. What type of wire these are? You can see here, these are connected with these types of wires. This is called three wire through MSTP port, or through daisy chain topology. This is plus, this is minus, and this is neutral or zero earthing. So these all controllers are connected together, looped together with this kind of wires. Now moving further, if these DDCs have built-in router, we don't need router. These DDCs have built-in router. What do you mean by built-in router? They are also acting as a controller and router. They have RJ45 port inside this. Inside this DDC, they have RJ45 port. From there we have Cat6 or Cat7 cable, and these cables are directly connected to the switch. These are directly connected to the switch with the RJ45 port here, right? If these controllers have RJ45 port and they have router inbuilt, suppose there are other controllers. this VLC which is going to control the exhaust fan. This is a VAB controller. This is a VLD which is going to control the FCU, fan coil unit, visual logic display. So they don't have inbuilt router and they don't have RJ45 port. You can see here they don't have RJ45 port. In order to connect these things to the switch, we need to have a router. So this is a router. These things are connected from here. These are connected with loop, and they are looped together. They are looped together. These things are looped together, right, from here to here and from here to here. Sorry, from here to here and from here to here. These are looped together with MSTP port. With backnet MS over TP and with RS485 port. They are connected with these three wire systems. Now from here it is connected to this port, to this here MSTP port, and here if you zoom it out, here we have RJ45 port, and through RJ45 it goes to switch. So in case if these types of controllers don't have the RJ45 port and they don't have built-in router, so we need this router. This is BCM ETH router. We can have many kinds of routers depending upon the vendor to vendor and manufacturer to manufacturer, and the kind of controller which is going to be supported. So they have their own types of routers. Suppose these types of controllers which do not have RJ45 and they do not have also a built-in router, and they are using not backnet MS over TP, they are using another kind of protocols like Profibus or CBus or Modbus. So we need here gateway. See, this is a gateway. Here MSTP port and here RJ45 port. So from these devices, from loop together end of line resistor, from here to here MSTP port, they are looped together. Okay, they are looped together, and from here it goes to MSTP. Now from here RJ45 it goes to switch. Network switch. Switch means network switch. Okay, the job of switch you already know. It is going to manage the traffic, and it is going to address the the job of switch you already know. It is going to address the the job of switch you already know. It is going to manage the traffic of all the system. It is going to assign the IP. Now how these routers or gateway connected with the switch, which type of cable. So here comes the cable. It can be fiber optic or it can be Cat6 or Cat7 cable like this. From switch through these types of cables, patch cables or fiber optic cable or Cat6 or Cat7 cable, we go to patch panels. Every floor of the facility we have telecom room or data center. There we can find a separate room for these types of panels, where all the wires, where all the communication cables comes, and through patch panels it goes to wall socket of the area of the same floor. It goes to wall sockets, and from that wall socket, with the help of these cables, we connect our workstation. So this is how the flow of data occurs. This is how right from the field devices, you can see, this is how right from these field devices we are going to connect all the devices to our workstation. So I hope you have a better understanding of this riser diagram, and you have better understanding of all the things which are going to be used, all the cables, all the controllers, router and gateway. Now you have no any confusion in the mind that which type of communication and which type of media and which type of cables is going to be used in our system. So stay tuned for the next video. Keep watching, keep enjoying. Thanks and bye.